Hey there everyone, it's Christine. Happy Friday morning to you. I hope you are having a good day. I woke this morning and when I checked my phone, I saw that Kevin Logan sent me a picture. I couldn't figure out what it was at first. It looked like a screenshot of something. And then when I took a closer look, I realized it was Sargon's Patreon and it had been shut down. So that happened today. Isn't that interesting? Instant karma's gonna get you.
Whew, the hands of time have sure been unkind to old lady Winters. Well, anyway, I went to Winters' channel and I knew this video would exist. You know, just considering the bitterness that's ingrained into her DNA. I mean, her kind of lonely old lady bitterness is really predictable. You knew she was going to run out and make a quick video, gloating about the possibility of someone losing their income to support their family during Christmas time. So everyone knows that Sargon was kicked off Patreon the other day, and the purpose of this video is not to go into why that happened, but rather what creators like Sargon need to do from here on out, now that we've seen the negative effects of relying on a company like Patreon as a main source of income. And one of the solutions that came up immediately was to move to another company called Subscribestar. Now, this seemed like a good solution at first, but then Subscribestar started having some issues.
This morning, when I logged into my Subscribestar account, I was greeted with this. Essentially, I can't use PayPal to pay out the money that you guys have donated through Subscribestar. The only other alternatives are like bank transactions, which doesn't work for me for a lot of different reasons. Now, I don't know what this means necessarily, but I do know that there are already activists targeting Subscribestar, and we knew this was going to happen. I don't know if this money will be paid out. I have no idea. Above the options for payouts, it says, if none of these options work for you, we will find a way to get you your money no matter what. Basically, it seems like what they're saying on Subscribestar, PayPal requested they no longer do payouts using their service, something having to do with the terms of service. And I think this was pretty predictable to a lot of people. And this is why, even though I set up the account, I did say almost as quickly as I could, I won't be using it, I won't be promoting it for the most part because of the inherent risks. But the main reason I set it up is because it's better to have alternatives.
So you can see that switching to Subscribestar did not solve the problem. And Tim pointed out what would help, and that is having alternate venues. Creators who are financially reliant on donors, followers, and subscribers need to start diversifying their revenue streams. And one of those solutions, I believe, is to have paid subscription newsletters. So I came across this website called Review, where you can have your monthly newsletter published that people could come and subscribe to, and they pay a monthly fee. So here it reads, newsletters are seeing a renaissance, particularly as algorithmic timelines have become saturated with clickbait, advertising, and irrelevant information. Because of this, newsletters are increasingly the best way to reach people where they are, and you can almost guarantee they'll read it. Now, what they're saying here is that since you are hosting a newsletter that subscribers have paid for so they could read it free from clickbait advertisements and banner ads, the search engines will favor your website because it's free from the heavy clickbait-filled pages that are an epidemic on today's websites. The websites will also love the fact that you have constantly changing and refreshing content on your newsletter site. Search engines love constantly refreshed content. So say, for instance, you build a website and you put something on there and you don't change anything for like 5 years, the search engines do not like that type of content, that stale content. So this is another reason why paid newsletters are advantageous. There are many writers of varying backgrounds and interest monetizing their content for the first time using paid newsletters. As the news industry changes faster than ever before, it's clear they offer an alternative to ad-supported business models. Paid newsletters are a fantastic way to build a closer relationship with your readers than ever before. A look at the state of the industry, as well as offer advice on how to go about building your own. The idea of a paid email might seem strange or even old school, but it's a fantastic medium for a subscription model. And that's what these creators have. They have a subscription model. Okay, now I want to show you an example of one of these paid newsletter websites. So if we go here, they have a paid newsletter called Breaking the Glass. It's a newsletter set up by professionals in the NBA that offers valuable insight and statistics. So let's check out their website. Okay, we're going to go down to the link to sign up for this paid newsletter. Now, whatever you do, don't set it up like this. This is very poorly done. You have to scroll all the way down to a tiny little link in the text to access the paid subscription. You need to have this link up high, front and center on a big banner button with lots of white space. So this is a very poorly designed page here. But anyway, let's go ahead and click on it and see what it entails to sign up for this newsletter. And as you can see here, they have different tiers of newsletter which offer more content for the higher price. Now, creators who are trying to replicate Patreon and want to have different tiers, you can do this here, where you can add on perks like private email access, monthly Skype conversations, and so forth. So if you click on one of the sign-up links, it's a very simple sign-in process. Just enter your information, password, and credit card info. The subscription renews automatically, and you can cancel anytime. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is see what it takes to sign up and set up our own paid newsletter website. Now, this is an all-inclusive website. They do all the payment processing. You do have to have a Stripe account in order to take payments. So if you have a Stripe account and you don't foresee any problems with Stripe, this is a good choice. And you can see here the plans are very inexpensive, only $5 a month for up to 200 subscribers. If you have less than 50 subscribers, it's free. And for $10, you can have up to 2,000 subscribers. So it's very inexpensive, but they do charge a 6% fee. Now, I'm not sure if there's an additional fee for the credit card processing of usually 2.9%, or if the 6% includes the credit card processing fees. I'm going to reach out to them and try to get an answer, and I'll put it in the description if I do get that answer. Now, let's compare that to Patreon, who charges 5%, and on top of that, they charge 2.9% credit card processing fee. The paid newsletter is slightly more expensive at 1% if they charge for credit card processing fees, but if the fees are included in that 6%, that means they charge less. So they're either 1% more or 2% cheaper than Patreon. Now, what's important to note here, that if Sargon had something like this paid newsletter in place when he got kicked off Patreon, he could have then asked all of his supporters on Patreon to move their support over to the paid newsletter. So I think the writing's on the wall. Putting all your eggs in one basket in this environment is not a good idea. And there is one way that you can make it even safer for you. What you do is you have to set up a website from scratch, an e-commerce site with a shopping cart, one that facilitates recurring payments, an independent site. What you do next is you find a payment gateway service to transfer payments from your website to your credit card merchant account. This is just your regular everyday small business credit card merchant account. You set up that merchant account in a subsidiary which is set up solely for the purpose of taking those payments, a differently named subsidiary. This way you can't be fucked with unless MasterCard steps in. You creators, the way you manage yourself, the way you move forward from here on out, it's obvious that you're going to have to diversify, stay away from the high-profile companies, and don't give old lady winners something to gloat about.